So multiple videos have emerged showing the protesters, in many cases, not doing anything wrong, practicing their First Amendment right, their freedom of speech. And then you see these examples of cops basically escalating rather than de-escalating tensions. I'm going to show you this next video out of many that I've seen because this one is just particularly egregious. Okay, so get a load of how a drive-by cop handled bystanders. Take a look. Just indiscriminately spraying people as they stand there. No one's blocking their way. They're driving by. No one's posing any type of threat. They're not attempting to apprehend anyone. Just go ahead and pepper spray indiscriminately into a crowd of people. And then turn around and argue that the protesters are the violent ones. The protesters are the ones who are supposedly escalating tensions and violence.
The problem often with our media and our government is that they say implicitly that state violence does not count. So if any citizen does violence, they're like, "Wow, that's outrageous! Look at this, the rioting, and oh my God, etc." But when the state does it, well, I mean, that's just the cops protecting themselves. But wait, are they protecting themselves? So in this situation, you see many cop cars go by without spraying anyone, and they have no problems at all. I rewatched that video several times to see, wait, is there any danger for that vehicle? Are people about to jump on the vehicle? I couldn't see any of that. You guys could watch it for yourselves 1,000 times and you won't see it. And the car in front of him doesn't do it. The car behind him doesn't do it. Only that car does it. You know why? Because there's somebody in that car who can't wait to pepper spray citizens. Can't wait. So he's like, I'll just do a drive-by spray. So imagine what that guy did when he got out of the car.
Yeah, or what he's done in the entirety of his policing career.
There's an attitude towards people of color in Minnesota, though, and that's where Philando Castile was killed by the cops. And I just think that right there just shows the disregard and the negligence for the citizens. And listen, when I tell people of color, I always tell poor white people, and I tell Latinos and other, we're just next. We may not be first, but we're just next on the list. That right there, that person didn't take any regard of who it was they were spraying, because there's a white person I saw that goes down off of a bike. It is just, we have a police problem in this country, and it is a valid problem. And that's not to say that all police officers are bad, but we've created a problem with lack of training and proper placement in communities where they have no sensitivity and proper training, and abuse. You know, it is historic, and it's gotten, the more technology we have, the bigger the problem begins, because the bigger the problem gets, because the more aggressive their tools and their weapons become. And so when you saw in Texas, when that man killed those cops and they had that robot thing or whatever that thing was, it's like, that's why you have some of these people saying, hey, I'm not getting rid of my guns. What makes me so crazy is that those people who do not want to get rid of their guns and are always talking about how they're going to protect themselves from the government will not in these moments admit that the government is wrong.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think that the people who argue that they need their gun rights to fight back against tyranny think about someone like Obama as tyranny, right? Like the type of like state-sponsored violence that they're seeing across the country is something that they want to protect. They've justified it. They've made excuses for it over and over again. They love it. So, you know, unfortunately, the people who are the most gung-ho about their guns aren't really being genuine about fighting back against like a possible dictatorial regime. They're worried about more freedom in this country for people who haven't really had much freedom, for people who've been oppressed in this country. They want to keep the system the way it is.
Yeah, if you notice in that video, most of the protesters there were white. And then upon rewatching it, like I said many times, you see the woman on the left right there, and a bunch of them, they're holding up their arms.
Yep.
I mean, you can't have a position that is more, hey, we're not doing anything wrong, we're peaceful protesters, than holding up your arms. And they pepper spray him anyway, because that cop cannot wait to pepper spray protesters. He literally, in this case, couldn't wait to get out of the car. He's like, he's going to do it right now. So, but those are all wonderful folks who are looking to empathize and to help African Americans who are outraged in Minneapolis. Now, if the right wing were genuine, like you guys said, they would do likewise. Because if you believe them, their number one concern is tyrannical government. I mean, does it get any more tyrannical than when the government has its boot on your neck? I mean, that's a literal phrase. In this case, it was a knee rather than a boot. But so they say, oh man, we cannot have the government put a boot on our neck. Oh, they did it on a black guy and killed him. Who cares? Who cares? I mean, shouldn't the militias and the Tea Party and the Bundy guys be celebrating Black Lives Matter, protesting with them? Shouldn't they all be in Minneapolis going, can you believe the government did this to us? And look at how they took away George Floyd's liberty and they killed him like that. Right? And they don't tread on me and those flags. None of them are there. In fact, if you ask them, 99% of them are like, yeah, cops are awesome. The other day you were pointing guns at cops. Oh yeah, but that was because I was worried they were going to take my freedom away. And by the way, my freedom sometimes means I get to lord over you and tell you what to do. And if I can't do that anymore, oh my God, you took my liberty away. So this is definitive proof. Those right-wing guys who talk about the tyrannical governments, they don't mean a word of it. They never meant it, and they'll never support anyone else when the government does actual tyranny on them if they're not white right-wingers.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks. Really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.